Good morning to one and all. I am Dr. Vinay Kumar. As a part of micro teaching assignment for the refresher course hosted by Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, UGC Malaviya Mission for Teacher Training Center, Chatrapathi, Sambhajinagar, I would like to talk on sampling techniques in library science research. Before going to see what is sampling, how it can be done, so you need to ask some questions. If someone says you, how you will know the status of librarians who are working in engineering college of your state, then you will think of all the librarians who are working in engineering colleges, irrespective of their designations, year of experiences, qualification, age, gender, everything. Then you will think about what are the obstacles you face. So if you think about obstacles, you will have time constraint, and you will definitely have fund problem, financial problems. You need to travel more, and you need to access to those librarians. That means you need to go to them and you need to collect their data. So these are all the obstacles. Then one question again arises, that can you cover all the librarians who are working in engineering college libraries of your state? Because the area of the state is wide and the establishments of engineering colleges are scattered. Then you need to think about how you can travel. Can you cover each and every one? So then you think of covering each and every librarian in your study. If it is not possible, you can think of covering only few librarians who are working in engineering colleges, and you will think of leaving other librarians who are far away from you or who are not available to you. All these questions will give one answer, that there is a method in research to collect the data from the target group. So let's see what are those. So every empirical research, so which requires collection of first-hand information from the respondents, is important, and these study need to cover various geographical areas like state, taluks, districts, or villages and everything. Or you need to cover the institutions or the establishments or households or individual units. Then only you are after covering all these things, you are able to collect the primary information. So that's why studying the target group is important. Here comes the question of population and sampling. So here the aggregate of all the units pertaining to a study is called population or the universe. That means if you are studying the engineering college librarians in your state, then each and every librarian who are working in engineering college in your state is your target group. So aggregate of those librarians is called population. Population is the target group, and each and every librarian in the population is called the element. So the data collected from each and every element need to be compiled, and the data need to be measured. However, as I told, we have a lot of constraints or a lot of problems to cover each and every librarian in a state. Then what we'll do, we'll study few librarians who are easily available to us and who are easily reachable and who can give us the relevant information, relevant first-hand information. That means primary data. Then the study of that part of population is called sampling. So in this picture we can understand that the target population is very huge. We are studying the part of it. The process of drawing the sample from the population is called sampling. We need to understand one more thing. If the target group is very small, then we can go for census study. That means we can cover each and every element in the population. We can go for census survey, and then we can easily understand the universe. But instead, If you have the larger population size, like the information seeking behavior of school children in India, so imagine there are more than 1 lakh schools in India, and from each school there are thousands of children. Then how much time, how much traveling, how much fund you need to study the entire population? So it is very huge. Then you can say, I will study only the part of the population. That means I'm going to have the sample, then I will study the part of the population. So here, conducting census survey or conducting sample study is based on few factors like size of the population, amount of the fund you have or budgeted for the study, the facilities you have. That means designing of questionnaire or designing of data collection tools, and distribution of that questionnaire, and probing, access to ICT and other technologies for data collection, data alignment, data processing, analysis, and access to the target group or population. All these facilities are available, then you can think of census survey. Otherwise, you need to have sample and the time. So if you are studying the school going children of India, then you need to have decades of time for completion of the study. So all these factors influences the census study or sampling study. Based on the size of the population, you will think of conducting census or sampling study. Here one more thing we need to understand is sampling frame, that is a tool which helps us to understand the population. So if you say I'm going to study the engineering college librarians, you need to have a list of all the engineering college librarians. Then that list is called as sampling frame. If you are going to study the school children, then the attendance register of a class of that school is the sampling frame. The directory of librarians who are members of an library association is the sampling frame, from where you can identify the units of the population, and then you can go for sampling. Let's see about the characteristics of good sample. If you are going to select the sample, you need to understand that sample units need to have certain characteristics. It should represent the population. That means if you are selecting the sample from a pool of librarians, so the representativeness should be like this. The selected sample should have the qualification required for the librarians, the working conditions required for engineering college librarians, the year of experiences, gender, everything. The selected units should represent the population, and you need to avoid biases. Biases means if the sampling units are very nearer to you, but they are not so relevant to your study, and if the sampling units or population units are far away from you, but they can give you very relevant information, very relevant first-hand information, but you are not selecting, so then it is a bias. A good sample need to avoid the biases, then only the sample can be accurate. And the precision should be considered as a good quality of good sample, and that means you need to have a bigger size of sample, so which can give you more relevant and more reliable data, where the precision of results can be achieved, and size of the sample should be high. For example, if you are studying 10,000 school going students, then you cannot say I only study 100 students. It's not a good size of the sample. There are certain formulas where you can understand the the required sample size, which is very relevant to the study. Size should be very good. The smaller the size of the sample, greater the errors, and greater the size of the sample, smaller the errors. This should be known by each and every researcher of library science. And after selection of sample, you should be able to reach them. That is, each and every unit of the sample should be available for data collection. If these characteristics are matching with the selected sample, then we can say it is a good sample. Sampling will reduces the time and cost of research studies. So automatically, instead of studying population, you will study a part of population. Your time will be saved, cost will be saved, labor will be saved. So if you are studying only 30 members, 30 librarians out of 100 librarians, the field work, the data collection time, data entry time, data analysis time will be reduced. And then the quality can be achieved in the study. So instead of studying 100 librarians, you are studying 30 librarians, you will prepare well for interviews for data collection. If you are studying 100 librarians, census survey, then you will skip certain questions in the interview schedule because of time constraint. And you will, in a hurry, you will skip some librarians too. So here, the sampling will give you better quality. So better processing of data can be possible, and it provides much quicker results as well. So this is the sampling process. Here we need to understand the research problem first. That means title of the research. Once it is defined properly, you will be knowing that which is your target group, where you need to study, where your focus should be on. Then you need to identify the sampling frame, that is the list of units in the population. That tool need to be identified. Then you will understand which sampling method is good for you. There are many methods of sampling. Then you need to determine the sampling size. That means what type of sample or what size of sample will serve you the best. That should be understood. Then you can draw the sample from the population, applying the selected sampling methods. So you can apply multiple sampling techniques to retrieve or draw the sample from the population. So that can be done. So this is the simple methods to be followed in the sampling process. Here is a formula which was given by Kreja and Morgan in 1970 to understand the sample size. So formula looks quite complex, but the results are very better. So here S is the required sample size. That chi-square, x square can be called as chi-square. So for the degree of freedom at 1, the desired confidence level is 6.635, so that will be constant, and n is the population size. The population proportion is 0.5, that means 50%, and degree of accuracy can be 0.025, so it can be 0.035, 0.050, so anything. Here it is an ideal degree of accuracy can be, that is expressed here. So let's solve this formula. By using this formula, we will solve one problem. Imagine we have 1500 librarians. We cannot study each and every librarians because of many constraints. Then we will apply this formula to identify which is the good sample size. So how many librarians we need to contact, how many individuals we need to contact for data collection. Here 1500 is n, and other things are as mentioned in the previous slide. The population proportion is 0.5 and chi-square value is 6.635, and after applying this formula we are getting the result as 958.58, which can be rounded off to 959. For the population size of 1500, desired sample size at the degree of accuracy of 0.025 is 959. So we need to study 959 librarians. Here are some sampling methods like we can apply for the drawing of sampling from the population. So one is probability or random sampling, and the other one is non-probability or non-random methods. Under the probability methods, there are two methods, simple design and complex design. Under simple design, simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, and systematic random sampling are the random sampling methods. Under the complex design, we have cluster, area, multi-stage, and replicated sampling. So whereas non-probability sampling is concerned, 4 methods can be applied: convenient sampling, purposive or judgment sampling, quota sampling, and snowball sampling. So here probability means each and every unit in the population is having equal opportunity as being selected. So here we use lottery method to select the sample. But in case of non-probability, the researcher will intentionally or purposefully select the sampling units. Knowingly he select the sampling units. So with this, I would like to stop here about introducing the sampling techniques in library science research. Thank you.